So, why are you single?
Yeah.
I mean, because because the homies now will send their CVs back. They're like, this woman has all the things, Marai. Are the requirements very high? Or
I don't know if the requirements are high.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another special episode of the No Cap podcast. Today we have a very special guest. She's beautiful, she's wonderful, she's amazing. We tremble at her feet. She's very intelligent. She's a go-getter. She's a businesswoman. The wonderful Sister Kashala.
The one and only.
The one and only. The one and only. Welcome to the No Cap podcast, man.
Thank you.
Honestly, I appreciate that you made the time. I just want to give like a brief background of how I know you. So I know you since we were kids. Yeah. So we went to two different primary schools, but my friends went to the same primary school as you. So when I would hang out with them, and then I would meet you here and there. And yeah, you were very, very, very smart, very competitive child back in the day. And I mean, obviously you're still very smart. So that's
competitive.
Still very competitive, né? Yeah. No, clearly. I mean, I don't think you would get as far as you've gotten without being competitive. But we'll get into that. Yeah. So just to start it off, give us a brief background about yourself, where you grew up, do you have any siblings, sisters, and how was like your childhood, like primary school and in high school?
So I grew up in a Kurangava's finest. I have a lot of siblings. My dad has 14 kids?
Damn.
Yeah.
And I say damn because like my dad was more competitive because like we were 15.
I think we were 15.
Oh.
Yeah, but and also we'll know the bonus ones was at the funeral.
No, you didn't.
No, I swear, it's a bamboo toppy thing, bruh. There must be a bonus kid at the funeral, otherwise something was wrong. But yeah, that was Easter. So my dad has 14 kids, or 15, I think. And then my mom is 6. So I grew up with I grew up with my dad, and then he retired and moved to the north. So then I moved in with so both my parents had houses in Windhoek, just different parts of Okurangava. So when my dad moved to the north, I just moved to the other side of Okurangava. But they're married. It's just, yeah. So I've been living then with my sisters, 3 sisters. So, yeah. I went to primary school at Tobias Hanyeko. Then I went to Jan Moore for high school. I think my childhood was a normal Tura kid childhood. All you know is walk to school, run around, play in the streets, do the right thing, and you know that education is your way out.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah.
But how was like life in Yamor? Like were you obviously like as a kid, you're just going to school, man. But when you get to high school, you start trying to figure out what you want to do with your life in the future and whatever. Were you doing everything like by the book, or were you like a naughty kid at school, like in high school?
You know what's funny, ne? I'm like a very, very smart kid, book smart,
yep.
But I'm also very, very naughty.
Yeah.
So I was in the hostel and I got my final warning 2 weeks into the hostel.
Oh, final warning.
Final warning, 2 weeks. But honestly, I wasn't guilty. But final warning, I was 2 weeks into the hostel and I came late actually. But then already in 2 weeks, I got my final warning. We were 3 friends in the hostel. We used to call each other MSM. Meloline, Sister Marietta. We were very naughty. All our prefects, just complained about us all the time. I was punished every week. So I cleaned toilets, I could geskoffel buite. Yeah, that was me. I was that child. I used to empty all the dustbins. I used to polish everyone's school shoes because I had to be punished. But what's funny is so they used to publish this top 10 list. So when they've published the first top 10 list in the first semester in grade 8, I was number 3 on the list, and everyone was shocked. Because not her. Because even in the study room, it's always me writing notes and like, you know, the letters, everything that you're not supposed to do, that was me. And then in the second term, I was number 1, and everyone was like, there's no way. There's just no way. Because, you know, the one that terrorizes everyone in the hostel, and then now you're like on the top 10. So that was me. So I think the adjustment to Yanmur from Tobias wasn't much. I think if you're on the top 10, then you become sort of like a cool kid. And also, it's a bonus if you're even naughty. Then you're like the cool kid. Yeah. So I think that was fine as well. Normal life. Yeah.
All right. So then you moved to, after grade 12, you went to varsity to go study?
Yeah.
What did you go study?
So I did a degree in construction studies.
Okay.
Then I did an honors in quantity surveying. I had a bursary, and then I moved back home, and I used to work for my bursary sponsor in Ocho. I worked for like a month, and I knew, I don't want to do this. So I tried to apply for a master's. I was just like trying to get in, and the university was like, nah, girl, we already started. You can apply for next year. So then I applied for a master's, but I was still working in property studies. And then I put that on hold in 2020 to do another master's in law. So then I completed that. Property studies should have been completed as well, but I'm not writing my thesis at all. I'm really not there anymore. I'm more money driven now.
Yeah, this is not even an interview about me, but theses.
No, it doesn't make sense, man. Like, honestly, I think law was easier because I didn't have to write a thesis. I did a professional master's, so all I had to do was I had to just write different papers of 5,000 words each, which then accumulate to the 20,000 words you need for a thesis. But now that was different because a thesis is methodology. Dude, I already know what the solution is. I know the conclusion. But this long thing.
Here's my question. What drove you to go do law? Because it's like something totally different from what you're doing, like for your honors.
I think it's a curiosity. So because if you're in the technical field, you think in a certain way, and I really just wanted to change my thinking. So I didn't want to think like everyone else. I just wanted to have a different way of thinking, like how do everyone else think. Initially, I wanted to go do an LLB. And my one friend was like, but you don't ever want to go practice law, so don't you think that's a waste of your time? Just rather go do a master's for a year. You still get to be within the law faculty. You are with the lawyers. Your reasoning will have to be like theirs. Your writing style will have to be like theirs. So that gives you what you want to get. So it was really that curiosity thing.
So you are a quantity surveyor.
Yeah.
Which a lot of us don't know and understand.
I don't know myself, but okay.
So tell us more. Like, what is the work that a quantity surveyor does, or at least in your life and how you operate when it comes to that end of it.
Okay, so you see construction projects. So that a building before it actually becomes a building, you have to design it, and usually that's done by architects. So your architect does obviously the broad design, aesthetic wise, all the basic stuff. The engineers will usually your structural engineers will do the structure so that we know that the building is actually stable. And then your mechanical and your electrical, that's self-explanatory. And then so a quantity surveyor is pretty much the accountant on the project. So yeah, basically what it really is a specialized form of accounting. So we deal with all the money. So when we get the drawings, we're able to then break down the building into different components and different elements and cost each of those elements. So it's not just, I mean, you see a building and windows. Like for this building, for example, we'll then have to measure out all the different windows and all the different sizes, the carpet, the tiling, the ceiling. You just see a ceiling, but underneath that ceiling there are hangers, there's branding, there's a lot of stuff. So we need to break that the building into different elements and then cost those elements. And that's and then basically just financial control on the project to make sure that we are within budget. And so just basically that.
So at one point you had a full-time job, like you were employed by someone else. And then you decided to quit.
I was 25 when I left.
Don't ask me how I know this, but I know. So you decided to quit. Why did you make that decision?
Wait, is this when I resigned for the first time in my life?
No, like when you left your job to become
an entrepreneur. Okay, so what? I was 25. I used to work in Ocho for 2 years and I moved to Lutherits.
Okay.
And then I went on a fellowship, the Mandela Washington Fellowship. And so when you are in the US, I was on the business track. So we visited a lot of American-based companies and what they were doing and their plans for the future. And it's AI everywhere. This is 2019. GPT, yeah, it's not a thing yet. Nobody really, like your layman doesn't know about AI yet, right? But they're already speaking about it in healthcare and this, how it's going to change this and this. And so when I came back, so when I was there, I just felt like I'm playing Mickey Mouse with my life because I was sort of like a junior QS. I was a junior QS, but I was running big projects, but it just felt like I was playing Mickey Mouse with my life. And I don't think employment is for me. And so when I came back, I was pissed with my employer because I went on unpaid leave. But when I got back from work, because I was gone for 8 weeks. But when I got back from work, it's sort of like I had to still do the work. Like there was someone in my place, but I don't know what they did. So there was still a lot of work that I had to catch up. And then I must now still do my work. So now I'm back. And I mean, in construction, it's fast. And especially at that time, I worked for a contractor. And a contractor is a different environment from now in consulting. There, it's a lot of work. So I was just pissed at some point. I was like, it's even Mickey Mouse with the comic lost net. And let me go do my own thing. Yeah. But at that time, I had started a travel company. Okay. But it was a side hustle. Not even like I had no plans of making it big. It was just... Actually, I know Cape Town. I studied in Cape Town. I can take people to Cape Town during my builder's holiday because I was based on site. I always had 2 extra days off every second month. And in December, the construction industry goes on a builder's holiday for a whole month. Right. So then I was like, okay, I can do a side hustle and run my business, like travel trips during that time. And so when I came, so it was an easy resignation. I was like, I'll survive, but. Also, I'd applied for a scholarship. Yes, that was the other thing. I'd applied for a scholarship. Not that I had it, but I made it past the first 2 stages. So I was waiting for the last round. To go for an interview. But I wasn't sure I was going to get it either, but because there was no feedback. I was just like, look, if I can... My thing was always my parents. My parents, you don't tell a Vambuzali, I left work, I know, what are you going to do? No business, what business? I could travel. My parents would be like, I could travel, what do you mean? This is not what you studied. This Mickey Mouse things that you're playing, they're not going anywhere. So then my plan was, it's fine. If I leave work, I can at least, if I'm studying, it will be okay. My parents will understand. So then I left and I was like, okay, I had to now hope I get the scholarship to move back to Cape Town. That was now the law scholarship to go do a master's. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's how you ended up in the master's.
Yeah, the master's in law. No, but I'd applied prior and I wanted to do law, but I'd applied for a scholarship earlier in the year. Oh, okay. But I wanted to do, but then that was like, I think it was a bonus to actually leave.
Oh, cool. So now you are a businesswoman.
Yeah.
You're still a QS. But you run your own business now.
Own QS company. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So how does that work? Do you apply for tenders or?
Yeah, my brother.
Yeah?
We are there.
We
are tender girls. We are tender girls, and it's hard.
But do you regret the decision of leaving your previous job in comparison to how things were at your job and how it is now? You working for yourself and you being there by the tenders.
Okay, so. Fast forward a bit. Yeah. I think I started the company 2021. It was COVID. There weren't really projects happening, and also when you start, you were small. You know the circle of life. You're a junior now, a senior tomorrow, a junior again. So as a junior, and obviously with our industry, it's not. I wouldn't trust a new company. I'd rather trust an old company. As much as the work I'm doing now is the work I used to do while I'm employed. It's not really. There's no difference. Yeah. But I'd rather trust a company that's been around for many years. Yeah. So that was difficult. 2021 was very difficult, and it was COVID. So my travel company was also suffering a bit. So there was a lot of emotional, maybe I should just be like everyone else and get a job. That was 2021. But then I got through that, and then 2022. I don't know. I have a lot of those moments, man, where you feel like, okay, I'm not doing very well, even though you are, but you just feel like, okay, I could do better. I could do more. Yeah. Yes. So then towards the end of the year, I think I saw a job vacancy and it was for a year. Mm-hmm. It was just a year's contract. I was like, actually, I can do this for a year. It's a year out of my schedule. It's not going to change anything. I don't have plans to do this and this and this. So I don't think it will change anything. And surely by the end of this year, by the end of the year thingy, I would have got secured certain projects that will then be able to sustain me. So I took up a job in January, and I worked for a month. And I was like, "Hiri baya of vroeg in die oggend, dis nie vir my nie." So then I worked for a month. It was cool. I did my job very well. They actually loved me. Second month, it's good. And then I tell my colleagues, so the one girl I went to primary school with, and I tell her, my sister, by June, you will not see me here. I'm giving you guys 6 months. At least 6 months is good. I come March, I'm like, my sister, this is my letter. June is too far. I cannot. And then there was a thing I wanted to apply for. It's like a fellowship in Paris, but you need to work for like a government or parastatal type of thing. So I was like, okay, I'll stay until I submit my application, go through the interview. By March, I was like, my sister, it's not for you. This your jobs, it's not for you. So I left. But do I regret leaving? No, because I think I was set by the time I left. Okay. Do I regret leaving my first job at 25? No, because I think if I didn't have the travel company, I would have stressed because then you don't have income. But so I could ride this wave of sort of like trying to establish a QS company because I was still able to pay for expenses, pay for bills, and also to just really establish the company because there are a lot of expenses when you start that company, software.
Which also brings me to my second question with regard to your QS company. Do you work alone, or do you have people that you employ, or like how are your day-to-day operations, at least when you on the
So I have a senior QS and like an intern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's nice.
But I still am hands-on. Like I also work. I think I'm also like low-key. Okay, I have what you call imposter syndrome. Basically just where you feel like you're not good enough, you feel like you're a fraud and stuff. And one of the byproducts, or for lack of a better word, is perfectionism. So like I'm such a perfectionist, so everyone's work I want to review it all the time. I want to check and then when somebody messes up, I'm so mad. But it's because when you mess up and you have a boss, you don't, if you're employed, if you mess up, you'd be like, it's my boss's problem. Yeah, it's fine. I'll say, I'm sorry. I own up. Yeah. When it's you, for myself, yes.
All I can.
So from there, it's the mistakes. Your boss, your supervisor must own up to it. I think with the company is if you make a mistake, and our mistakes are related to money. A client budget set a certain amount for a project, and now you're like, hey, I made a mistake here, or I did this. It's not nice. So but I have to carry that mistake. So it's, for me, that's why I think it doesn't help actually my imposter. But yeah, we dollar what we must.
Away. So we're gonna have like a slight thingy with your business details. And
please, I beg, guys.
Fresh.
Walking now, billboard.
Yeah, that's it. You mentioned Lazilia Travels. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Yeah.
I sat here with Julita and I mispronounced supranational and I said supernatural.
Oh my gosh!
What I was thinking, and
supernatural powers.
She came at me with supernatural powers.
No, you got it right.
Yeah. So you said you started this like during the breaks. It's like a small business. Tell us what is Lazilia Travels. The name has a meaning to it.
Yeah, it's a combination of my parents' name, Lazarus and Helia, Lazilia.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does this business do exactly?
So basically, we curate trips, but my niche is really group trips. I actually enjoy that. So we basically plan trips to different destinations across Africa, Europe, really anywhere. And we take a group of people, usually like a group of our client base is really young Namibians, and we've really expanded now. I think we've had people from Zambia and from South Africa joining in on our trips. But yeah, we plan everything. So we'll plan the transport or flight, whatever, the accommodation, the activities. So you pay for a package, and we take you. Then we deal with all the drama. You don't have to think about anything. You just arrive on the day we have to depart, and everything is sorted for you. So that's the one side of the business. Then the other side is we also like tailor-make packages. So if you want to go with your partner, just the two of you will help you like plan the whole thing. So yeah, the proposal, the honeymoon, the 3-year anniversary. Yeah. But I don't really enjoy those ones as much. But
Why is that the case?
the group trips are easy to plan. I plan it once and I advertise, you buy the package. The tailor-made packages is, now my bra John here, he feels like, you ask John, what's your budget? No, it's 20K. I know, before you even get there, John wants to go to Bali with his wife, but John only has 20K. And you tell John, I don't think the 20K is enough. And then it's always a lot of back and forth. Or John says, no, the budget, no, there's no budget. We just want, this is our destination. And then you give them a quote and they like, no, this is too much. And I'm just like, bro. And I'm just like, bro, do you know how long it takes me to build up that package? Like, it's not just, I just don't and give you a quote. Like, I need to think the flights. I need to look at flights. I need to look at hotels. I need to look at activities. I need to look at all these things to give you a quote. Now I give you a quote and you're like, no, it's a lot of money. Let's reduce. So it's always a constant back and forth. And honestly,
this package is equivalent to my pension.
Yeah, so those ones, I don't really enjoy them, and also because they take so much effort, and also capacity wise, sometimes I think a lot of them come at like you have requests all at once, and then I don't really give feedback when I should. Like my turnaround time is not good, and then I feel like I'm failing, and so I'm still trying to find a good. Not really, but also like if you're slacking, you're slacking. Like I'm just afraid, like you take so long to respond. And then people call you out on Twitter, like, because I think I get like good feedback now because of the group trip. So people go like, oh no, I traveled with Lazilia, she's amazing. And now you come because somebody has recommended, but I don't give you the same. I give you the same service, just it takes me longer. Next thing you're like, that Lazilia only helps your faves. Like I'm so scared of like reading any of that on Twitter. So I'm still trying to find a strategy on how to really do this better.
So like you guys go literally everywhere. I mean, you go to places like Zanzibar, Victoria Falls, you go to Dubai, Cape Town. When you plan all these things, is it just you, or do you have a team now with Lazilia, or is it like you have to? It's just you there making the calls and.
So there's a team. I actually don't even go to most of them anymore. Oh, okay. When I started, I used to, but I don't anymore. Also, I just think. I mean, if you do something for so long, okay, I joke around when my clients, like return clients, when I first now branched out and someone else was going on the trip, and so my return clients were like, "Are you not going on the trip?" And I'll be like, "No," and they'll be like, "No, but I don't want to go without you." I'm like, "Oh, I'm when the next CEO." And like, what do you want to go with the big girl? Go, but why do I want to go with the big boss? But I think so Sarah, our travel coordinator, she's amazing. I think every trip she goes to,
shout out to Sarah.
Shout out to Sarah. She's that girl. So every time she goes on the trip, I always get feedback. Sarah is so amazing. She's so kind. She's so she's so patient. Now me on the trip, I am because I mean it's a group trip, so you need to be structured. Otherwise, you will not. You'll piss off certain people. So if we say we're departing at 10 after breakfast for an activity and you're not there at 10, I'm on the trips, I'm at 10, this bus will drive. You will Uber or you'll find your way to the activity. So I'm that girl. Sarah is at 10, the bus will leave. And then at 10:15, I still see them on the group. Where are you? We are about to leave. The driver is angry. So I have the grace, so I'll still wait. But my voice has at 10, I am leaving. So then, at 10, they. So then I don't get she's patient. I just get, she's really nice. Because I am generally nice. But so Sarah still has the patience. She still has a sweet voice. I just don't have it,
So like you guys go to so many different countries. How do you decide which ones? I mean, obviously they are your favorite go-to destinations, like Cape Town, because it's close and I'm sure the cost is not as
yes.
But how do you guys decide, like with countries that are far, which ones you guys decide to go to, or do you have like at this point like a routine now? By this time of the year, we are in France. This time of the year, we want to be in, let's say, South Africa as an example.
So I think when I started, I only used to do Cape Town. And honestly, I didn't think beyond Cape Town because, like I said, it was a side hustle. And what I knew was Cape Town. And so once we do the Cape Town trips, now you have clients, right? And they all started saying, okay, we've been to Cape Town before. Where to next? And then they see you are in Zanzibar and then they all comment, oh, I want to go to Zanzibar. So I think that's really how we come up with the destinations. It's mainly like you just get the DMs. No, I want to go here. I want to go here. And so you see based on how many requests you get of a certain destination and you include it. But or sometimes I like to travel to a country first before I do a package to that country, because I'm not trying to get to a country and I don't know what's happening and have Namibians ask me questions I can't answer. How do you bring us exactly. Now you don't even know where to go. Now you don't even know where to go for the person to go to complain about a lost bag. Now you just there lost yourself, and then people are like, yeah, no, you're incompetent. So I try to go to a country first before I do it, and usually when I go to a country, I know for a fact like my content's always nice, I guess, and people are like, I want to go. So yeah, but really based on that.
So you have all the stamps on your passport now?
Not really.
Like, how long does it take you to renew a passport? Because you look like you travel every other day.
Yeah, but I also go to like similar countries. Yeah, but I haven't traveled this year though. Last year I traveled a lot. This year,
you're a boss now, CEO?
No, it's just also not even the group trips. I used to do like a lot of my own travels. It's just I think for the last 2-3 years the travel was taking up most of my time. Now the QS is taking up a lot of my time, and the QS needs me. So it's not one of
the CEO now.
So I can't. So it's hard, and it's really the balance is when this one's here, this one's here. When this one's here, this one's here. So I'm still trying to find myself there.
Nice. So, in all of this, you sound like you're very busy and whatever. Do you have like a special someone you share this like memories and achievements, and by that I mean, do you have a male partner in your life?
Why must he be male? I'm joking, but
also no, it's a very important question. I'm just saying. True. No, that's very important nowadays. You must ask now.
Yeah, you must ask now. Hey, hello.
Do you have a partner?
How will this build a nation? Question.
It's not building. It's we want to know. The people want to know.
Oh, guys, please, I'm out here. Send your CVs with bank statements. 6 months. Yeah, you also need a CV. I mean, you need a bank statement when you're applying for any visa. So please, 6 months bank statement, CV, a list of the countries you've been to. What else do I want? And your baptism certificate. And your record that you do go to church.
You're a very spiritual person.
I am, but I'm very human. Like I fail a lot.
As we all do.
Yeah. So, but I try not to condone myself. Ideally, I'd want to be a very, very godly woman. But the world comes every other day, and it comes fast at me.
So, why are you single? Because the homies now will send their CVs back. They're like, this woman has all the things, Marai. And the requirement is very high. Or
I don't know if the requirements are high. No, honestly, I don't know either.
You don't know?
No, I just don't know. I don't know why they need it.
So you don't be out here turning these niggas down?
I don't go. I wait first. No.
You see?
No, but also no. Do you know how many of these Ventuk boys want to chow our money? I am not. I refuse.
Not true.
Yeah, they want to drive your car every day and yeah. I'm so scared.
So now you're
but it's not the reason, man. I think I just my one colleague when we were driving to site the other day, he said to me, you are single or because you haven't found whom you love yet.
Okay.
So I think maybe it's one of those. Yeah, please, if you are a church brother and you don't have money, so I not like that. Huh?
So now,
but it's not about money shame. It's,
no.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
I mean, in the world we live in, we want some sort of stability, you know. You don't just now you come with zero now and then everything must cross over to the side. No one wants that. It must be some.
Hey, it must. Yeah. Not that I care, because honestly,
other things also.
Yeah, for me, and honestly, I think back then already I made a decision that I always wanted a man that earns more money than me, or someone that's accomplished not for myself but for his ego. Because men have this ego.
I am. Classic example. I tell my partner, if you start earning this much more than me, I'm going back to school, or I'll find another. It's just that pride is just there.
Yeah, the pride is there.
It's just there.
So for me, it was always
I want
that.
to be a provider always, you know, even if you make your own money.
But that is what creation was about.
Yeah.
It's just your brothers here on earth, my father, Lord. Yeah. They call us gold diggers. You saw that meme when we ask them for money. The providers you put on earth, Father, they call us gold diggers. No, but so for me, it was always for his ego.
Yeah.
But then I realized those brother men, the 1%, those guys that are up there, they're big narcissists, man. So I don't know anymore. And also it's rough. Like, you have people who want you to shrink. Like, why must I shrink myself? Not that and because the excuse is always, yeah, but you step on my head. But it's not like that. Like, that's what you think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll get there.
So how long have you been single? If I may ask at this point.
Do I even know? Like, was I in a relationship? Maybe I was in a relationship alone. The last one. You never know. You think you're in a relationship, but can't you? What? I was dating him, but was he dating me?
So on your side, so when was that when you were dating him and you were not sure?
I think over a year and 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Over a year and 2 months ago.
Cool.
Yeah, that's long. Okay. I'm talking to someone though, just saying, but I can talk to more. I'm joking. I know I actually can. Yeah. Hey, these brothers, they also talk to more at the time.
And there's this crush you have on IG. Don't ask me how I know, but I know.
Oh my gosh!
Like, why are you? I don't know. Are you afraid to talk to the person?
How do you know about my crush?
It's okay. I know about your crush. So are you afraid to talk to tell the person, or is it a thing of you're waiting for?
I'm not sharing this podcast when it's out. I feel like he knows elsewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but this is a crush since 2018. Wait. Yeah. It's a long crush. Then no, but I went to him. I added him on Instagram.
So he knows. Oh.
He knows. I feel like I DM him. At some point we were making progress, but he's a.
Hey, my brother. Get serious.
I feel like, at some point we were making progress, but the progress, I don't know. Oh my gosh. Yo.
Yeah? How do I know these things?
I'm gonna.
Okay, we'll leave it there. So you have. Let's leave that one. I'm not sure. Hey, the homie is going to get a big head now. If he knows himself. So.
I think he knows.
He knows me.
Yeah, because I made it so obvious. I tried, man.
At least you can live with that thing.
I tried. Yeah, no, it's.
I thought you were just admiring the nigga.
No, I just don't admire. I'm there, liking every post. Hey, what's that? On this basis.
Yeah, excellent. It's no it's the right way. So you do this thing where every year you write like a letter to yourself.
Oh.
What's the motive behind it?
Yo, I don't even know where it started, but so I really struggled a lot when I just started working. Okay. I think because I've always been an overachiever, and I've always done well. So when you move from school to the working world, you're junior. Yeah. So I mean, what we always joke in my industry is for the first 6 months, all you do is sit and fold drawings in the office. So we have all these big ass drawings. So that's your job, to fold it correctly. So that's what a lot of us do for the first 6 months. But for an overachiever, that's sort of like, what the hell though? Yeah. Like, do you not know I am Sister the Great? Yeah. What is this? Who? If I'm folding drawings, what do the? Yes.
It reminds me of. When I started working as an intern, so I left varsity and I was a shop kid, and then they gave me this position. And then the first day at work, this colleague of mine gave me a green coat and sent me to a call server room to go pack boxes. And I'm like, I am an IT guy. I didn't study so hard to come and pack boxes.
Exactly.
That's how I felt.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how what were we talking about?
The letter that you write yourself.
Oh yeah, so that's how I felt. So I felt so small. I was just going through the most shame emotionally. And then I started this blog because I sort of like, I don't ever want to be successful in life and then people look at you and think you're unrelatable and then make it seem like, when people, motivational speakers, I started with a grain of rice. Sometimes it's really true, but people can never relate because they don't see you in that way, right? Because they see the success, they see greatness, and they see all of this.
And they just think,
it just came overnight. Yes, they see the end goal, but they don't see when you're in the trenches. So I started this blog really for myself, but I sort of like mentor a lot of my little sister's friends. And also just for those little kids that I end up inspiring, just for them to know that it didn't just happen overnight. It was sort of like it was a journey. It was a journey where I also had I wasn't sure, like emotionally or struggling. So it was really to do all of that. And then I think my first letter I wrote to myself, I thought I emailed it to myself because it wasn't on the blog. I just wrote it in one of my notebooks at work. But it was just, I think that first letter was just really to encourage myself to know that you're doing it good, you're doing well. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. This is a journey and it's a season. And I think I remember watching a YouTube sermon, and the sermon, and the pastor said something like, don't be so focused on trying to get out of a season to miss that God was actually in that season. So, you're just focusing on trying to get out. I can't wait to get out of this season. But then you forget that God was actually in the season and he was trying to teach you something. Because I look back now and I'm very happy about that experience because I think it made me who I am. I've never seen myself as an entrepreneur, A students. Why A students work for C students, that book. That's how I saw myself. I was just going to work my way to the top in the company, never an entrepreneur. But that experience then taught me something completely different, and I knew entrepreneurship was what I wanted to pursue. So the letters are really they started as a reminder to myself to know that I'm doing well, and then they later on became, because my birthday is in the middle of the year, so then they became a review for myself, like to review my year, what did I do, what are my plans for the future, and just to encourage me to keep going and stuff like that. So that's really, I always read all my letters before I write my new letter. And so every time I read them, I get emotional and I'm like, I was so wise. The other day I was telling my friend, I was like, oh, did I write this at 25? Is this me? And, but this one? Yes. And I'm like, oh, I need this. And then and sometimes when I feel down, I literally go read some of those letters and then the encouragement is just,
Talking to myself because I am my own consultant doing this at one time. Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's good. One last thing. So I want us to play a little game.
Okay.
The game is called Cap or No Cap.
Okay.
I will ask. I'll make a statement. It could be true, could be false. So if it's true, and then you say no cap, and if it's false, you say cap.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You shouldn't think too much into it. You don't have to explain yourself. However, at the end, if you want to explain why you said this, you can. But for now, just answer.
Please, I'm a woman of God, huh? I don't want enemies on the streets.
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right, cool. You appear to have many friends, but you have like a really small circle of friends.
Which one is no cap?
No cap, okay. You are single because the men that approach you do not meet your minimum requirements.
No cap.
You would rather spend 40K on a vacation than save that 40K in a bank.
No cap, any day, all day, every single day of my life. Savings, I don't have savings.
Alright, cool. Even if you're single, you have a guy you're hooking up with. I'll say it again. Even maybe you didn't hear me. Let me say it again. Even if you're single, you have a guy you're hooking up with.
Cap, actually.
Okay. So why did you simple though? Okay. So even though you've already started so far, you one day aspire to have like a PhD.
No cap.
You would one day like to have a family, a little family of your own.
No cap.
You believe that men are trash?
No cap. Because you are.
So yeah, that was the little game. Yeah, you've been a good sport.
Yeah, but you are.
Yeah. We're trash, eh?
Oh. Yeah. What did Kanye Bao say the other day? Men will leave you in the desert with no water. It's true. Yeah. Namibian Ventuk men. Ha! My brother, my sisters fear these men that will give you and show you pepe.
So yeah, okay, so also one thing I noticed about you while we're rounding this up, like you really love to read, besides your academic books and whatever, like
Yeah.
You like to go to the bookstore, you buy books. Like, do you have like a target in of like how many per month, how many books must you read, or in a year or whatever? Do you set such goals for yourself, or you just read, you buy the books and then you read when you get the time?
Funny enough, I used to I used to have this addiction where I just buy books and I don't read them.
Yeah.
And then so I think last year I said no bookstores for myself, or this year actually. But now, yeah. So for this year, my goal is 23 books, 2023. So 23 books.
Oh,
yeah, I wasn't sure because I wanted to do because next year then I'll do 30 books for my 30th. Next year, everything I'm doing is 30 for 30.
So are you at least by 11-ish books now? Or?
I am on my 10th.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm a fast reader. I think I read 10 of these books in January.
Oh.
I mean 6 of these books in January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a fast reader. When I can read a book in a day or two, because I that's all I really do. I don't really go out. I think a lot of people see me and they think I'm always out, but I don't. I'm always in the streets. Yeah, but I'd rather be at home because I'm an introvert and I don't really like people. And I know it's always a surprise to people because I'm shy. I don't like people, but people don't believe me because they think I'm a loudmouth. And because you're a loudmouth, automatically you like people. I don't. Sorry, but yeah. So I read a lot of these books in January, and then in February as well. I think January, February. That's when I read the most. And then the plan was to only read one book a month because I'm trying to finish my thesis. But then I didn't get to do my thesis. I'm not reading because I'm just busy working. Like, yeah.
But you see, at least you always have something you're doing. Yeah, you're not. And I you know, one reason why we make this podcast and we are selective of the people who we want to bring. Mm-hmm. Like, ideally, not ideally, but people want to see like entertainers, artists, and whatever because they are famous and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But like.
I'm famous. I'm joking, but yeah.
We tremble.
Yeah, please.
Yes. So, but for me, it's a thing of I like to be like very selective when I see this person is doing something because like obviously there are like young kids out there who watch the podcast and then they look up, they can see this and like I one day aspire to be like this person. So yeah. With that said, like I really appreciate you making the time, even though we were late and whatnot, and we kept you here. I really appreciate that you made the time and you agreed to come,
even with all my greatness.
With all your greatness.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure.
And we are letting you sit on a plastic white chair.
When I could be in a Qatar Airways chair right now.
Exactly. With a lot of leg room.
No, I can't afford. I'm an economy budget traveler. Please do not be. Do not be those Instagram.
Don't assume
things. Those Instagram photos that you see, my sister, it's not like that. We stay in budget accommodation. We use public transport. We fly economy class.
Cool.
Yeah.
So with that said, my last question. Wait, two questions. One, what are your future plans? Do you have like future goals? If you don't want to talk about it or whatever, that's okay. But if you have, it doesn't even have to be business related. If it means like you want to do some sort of charity day or whatever, yeah, something you want to share for the future, or at least with Lazilia, what can you expect? If you have any, yeah.
Oof. I don't know if I think that far into the future. I think I take each day as it comes, but really my plan is to be better, to improve where I'm underperforming, I think. But in terms of Lazilia, to just grow it, I don't have a choice right now. So sometimes with business, you are either forced to grow, and if you don't match up to what is required of you at a certain season, then you will fail. So yeah, I have no choice but to grow off, but to finish my thesis. Yeah. I think that's number one. And to get married, please,
I need that encouragement also there. But
no, let's just get it done, bro. Like, if you write 500 a page a day, that's 500 words. Obviously, for a thesis, that 500 words means you need to read 3 journals. But like 500 words a day or a week at least, you just need to write.
But anyways, what do you want to be remembered for? Like, let's say. I don't like asking this question, but hypothetically speaking, let's say today was your last day. What you want people to remember you, like when they think about sister, not that it's going to happen.
Yeah. I think my heart and knowing that sister did what she wanted to do. So not because it's something that society expected of me, but really because I really just do what I want to do. Some things people meet me and they're like, oh, did you see the car Lazilia is driving? Like, you would never have thought. Do you know where Lazilia lives? You would never have thought. So really just doing what I really want to do. Like, I've done what I wanted to do. And I think I've been there in the community. So I have a charity, just to add. I have a charity, it's called Tekula, means to raise, to Tekula.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but it's basically mainly focused on like children in the rural areas. So we do like academic awards, we do mass motivational events. So we do all of that. So really just for my heart, and like my mother say, Andumbato or Shiwana Kontima. So really just to be remembered for that, because that is me. Awesome. Really the girl who pushes everyone to be great. I don't believe in being great by myself. We must all be great together.
Possibly. So thank you very much. This has been a very, 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 it's been a dope episode. Yeah. That's it from us. Don't forget to do all those other...
Like, subscribe, and whatever. And please follow Lazilia Travels on Instagram. If your uncle is building a house, please, you can just also DM me on Lazilia and just say, we are building a house. Not house. I don't really like houses, but shopping malls, a hotel. If you have that rich uncle who's in construction, please just DM me on Lazilia. I'll also just reply to you nicely. Thank you.
Thank you. You've been great.
Thank you.
You have been great. You've been great. Like, John, I know how to pick them.